Hey, Minister Robinson here, Church of Real Talk, founder of the Now Movement. And that's what we want to talk about, the Now Movement, 2025 and beyond. Many people don't realize, because I really do a lot, they don't realize that the Now Movement, the official N.O.W. movement, has only been in existence since July of this year, July of 2025. And I truly believe that we did a lot as far as pointing out dysfunction that has gone under the radar, unmasking narcissistic abusers, helping people understand the connection between empaths and narcissists. And I think most importantly, we gave a lot of people clarity. We really did. We gave a lot of people clarity. Now, has it been an easy path? You think you get the idea in your head and then it's smooth sailing. No, it's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been a lot of highs. And it's been learning not only about how I can be of assistance to others, but more importantly, how can I heal completely so I can pass this on to others? No other way but forward. I remember where I was giddy with excitement when I came up with that way of explaining N.O.W. No other way but forward. And that's the mindset that I want so many survivors to have. Because there is no other way but forward. You can't go back to it. You can't. And I think that's the realization that I had to learn, because many a time as I went through this year, many a time I felt like, why don't I just go back? I can just go back and fix things. I can make this work. I've been fixing shit all my life. And I had to realize that there was no other way but forward. And forward meant cutting off those ties to the past that almost destroyed me. No other way has never been based on vengeance or making others feel pain, because if I'm completely honest with you, I really do sometimes wish that I could heal my narcissistic abusers. I really do. I wish that I could. But then I come back to reality, realize there's no other way but forward, and realize that these people cannot be healed. And I think many empaths struggle with that. I think, because as empaths, we give our all to every relationship that we take part in. This is why people gravitate towards us, because we're so authentic. We just want to love and be loved. We're like children with that. But we have a force that comes against us. This is why it's called spiritual warfare. We have a force that comes against us, that comes against all of humanity, just to protect their mask, just to protect their shadow, just to make everyone around them act as if they are mirrors, to reinforce their false self, their facade. Yeah, we did a lot this year. We really did. And if I'm completely honest and transparent, there's a lot of things that we dropped the ball on. A lot of things that I wish could have come to light. A lot of things that I wish we could have done. Wasn't for a lack of trying, because turning pain into purpose, I would just say, hey, listen, okay, that's not going to work. How else can I divert this energy into helping others heal? The movement is growing. It's growing beyond my wildest imagination. It's growing beyond my wildest dreams. But I guess we need to put this all into order so that everybody has a clear understanding, or my favorite word, clarity, as to where the Now movement has been, what it's going to do this year, and ultimately where it's going. So with that being said, I guess a good time to get started would be about my favorite thing, nowish. So how did this whole thing start? This whole no other way but forward. Sounds grand, doesn't it? No other way but forward. It started like most things throughout humanity. It started from pain. It started with my way of making sense of what I had gone through. Me making sense of why I stayed so long. Me making sense of this person was just a facade. I was looking at literally nothing. And then came the really, really hard part. I decided that I needed to research this before I gave my final answer, before I took that big, humongous step into this new life. I had to be sure. So that's when I wrote No More Chains. No More Chains came from me doing research of what I was going through. Every survivor will tell you the same thing. That's the first thing. You start scouring the internet, looking for anything that can explain the insanity that you're going through. And I spent a huge amount of time, and then I said, let me just make a book out of this. I can't let somebody just think that this is okay, that this is just a phase that somebody's going through. This is real stuff here. This is stuff that has the potential to tear down empaths. And I got all the answers that I needed. And then on top of it, I'm in the middle of the Discord stage. So it seemed like as I wrote a chapter, everything that I wrote in that chapter, they would actually play out right in front of me. I tend to look at that as the universe confirming the fact that I needed to get the hell out. I knew that I was going to lose everything that was important to me. Not so much her, but all the things that I had built through the years, all the things that I had done through the years. I was, in a sense, about to do a huge reset. Basically hitting Alt, Control, Delete on my brain. But I realized that there was no other way there was no other way that I was going to be able to survive. I had two choices: continue to feed into this person and systematically destroy my own life, or break free from the chains. That's why I named the book that. I think all survivors go through that stage of, I'm just going to give them one more chance. Maybe they'll come around. Maybe this hasn't been such a waste of time. Yeah, that's never going to happen. I had to learn that the hard way. It's not going to happen. So what I had to do is I had to gather my thoughts. I had to bring myself back into reality. I had to find ways to ease the pain. Being an empath and being one that considers themselves chosen, I just woke up like 2 days after I had finally gotten free. I just woke up and I said, I can't watch somebody else go through this. If it took me 7, almost 8 years to figure this out, that's way too long. I think anybody in this situation, be it a month, a day is way too long. So I said, let me help people spot the signs. Let me help people see what they're dealing with. I kind of tagged it spiritual warfare because I couldn't believe. And my soul of souls, I couldn't believe that there are people on this planet that can be that evil, that calculated, that destructive. So I just decided, okay, this will give the Church of Real Talk a path, a defined path, a very defined path. Church of Real Talk is based on the concept of those that are chosen. I truly believe that empaths are the chosen ones. I don't think anybody can go through history and say that all the people that are considered chosen did not have that empathetic thing inside of them. They cared for others. They wanted to help others. They wanted to see others rise. So I said, okay, I'll just integrate this into the Church of Real Talk. I'm ordained. Yeah, why not? And I started by building. I was like Bob the Beaver. I'm building everything just to make sure that I'm hitting all bases. They call that survival mode. You've broken free. Now you've got to deal with the silence. You've got to get your nervous system back in order. You've got to get things back to the way they used to be before you entered into the shit show, as I like to call it. So I'm building so many things. So Some of the things that I built was the Healing Library. The first book that I transcribed into an audiobook was No More Chains. I said this is a great starting point for anyone because it was a great starting point for me. And that soon grew to 6 more books, and I'm working on number 7 now, And I think a lot of people in the beginning during the smear campaign, I'm quite sure my abusers like, oh, he's just writing about me. Well, yeah, if I'm recalling or recanting an experience that I had, you did it. So yeah, if you want to take it that way, it is in a sense about you, but in the greater picture, in the greater sense, it's about helping others spot, which absolutely is obvious. I say this so many times that narcissists, they follow the same exact playbook. Names may change, places may change, but it is the same exact playbook. Chipmunks, same thing every day. They just go out there and they just do the same exact thing. And due to they are chipmunks, but they are also a great predator. And their prey are empaths, and they use that playbook psychologically, knowing that empaths, their greatest need is to help others heal. So after I got through that concept of, okay, this is going to help somebody, now I'm deep diving into more research because I'm building the Healing Library and I want to understand this. I don't want to leave any rock unturned. And I'm, Carl Jung. I'm, just reading research papers, listening to other people's stories and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. The way that I look at life is sometimes if it's just one person saying something, it's kind of hard to believe. Almost like the smear campaign. After a while, the flying monkeys look at the narcissist and say, you know what, you're the only one that's saying this, and this is kind of hard to believe. Those that are not entrenched into the narcissist playbook. I'm talking about family, people that have dysfunction within them, and they say, hey, listen, we'll play along as long as our dysfunction is hidden as well. Hey, okay, let's go. So as I'm learning more and more, I decided, okay, now TV, that's the next best thing. Now TV. I'm saying I'm going to let other people get on and tell their stories. Survivor Story Saturday. And that did pretty good. And every time I recorded a session, I would just feel like a mix of emotions. Like, wow, somebody actually outlined, maybe different people, maybe different places, but they outlined the same thing that I went through. Just confirmation. Then I did the breakdown. That just came to me out the blue. I was like, a lot of people think that this is just feelings, my feelings, especially it's my site, it's my movement. So he's just projecting how he feels into this movement. Why should I be part of this movement that's just about how he feels? So the breakdown came because I wanted to use facts over feelings. I wanted to use, papers, research, psychologists, mental health professionals to actually outline what I'm saying, because, the more proof you bring to the table, the more that people are actually going to pay attention. Again, the goal is to save somebody, to have someone say, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, and leave. One of the things when I started recording these, one of the things like the narcissist would be in another room and be on the phone, as they usually are, and they would just come by where I was recording and say, yeah, just sitting up there messing up people's lives, No, I'm saving people. Okay, I'm saving people's lives. This is when I was doing fractured bonds interviews. And they're looking at just messing up people's lives and their relationships. They're, again, projecting. So I added a couple more shows, the Empath Code and Healing Through Peaceful Choices. Healing Through Peaceful Choices and Tech for Survivors I used to do live. However, things have changed. Things have changed a lot, and a lot for the positive. So again, I'm in survival mode. I am trying to do everything at once, one-man army. not getting any rest. I'm doing 20, 22-hour days just to get this done. Not so much as a badge of I did this, but more to the fact of I want to make sure that nobody goes through this. So I'm crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and I decided that, I can't keep on doing this stuff like this. Needs to move offline. This, I can't keep on just sitting in front of the computer. I can't keep on just building a website. Right now I've got enough papers. I've got enough books. I do daily journal posts. You can read between the lines. I'm actually giving good advice based on my experiences. I've got to take this offline, and that's where I kind of fumble things. First off, getting people to join a movement that puts them front and center, just like I am, it's kind of hard for a lot of survivors. There's the embarrassment, there's the shame, there's the guilt, there's all those feelings. So yeah, they might get on to do a 15 to 20 minute video, but to be the face person or one of the face people in the movement, kind of hard, kind of a huge ask. And I get it. I'm working on a couple of people now. I'm actually on a board for another organization. I'm actually going to fall under their non-for-profit paperwork. But the important thing is it gives me a chance to do what I want to do as far as helping others. And where I fumbled the ball was I wanted a location. I saw this location. It was a wreck. It really was. It was a wreck. It looked like it couldn't be built. But I'm saying to myself, if the price is right, if I can raise the money, I can have a physical location for the Church of Real Talk / the Now movement. And it didn't work out. And I was bummed for about a week. I was bummed. But once again, pain into purpose. So I just switched gears. And I found a way, since I'm a veteran and like I said, I lost everything. I found a way to be of assistance to other veterans in a transitional housing place. And that made me feel good. Using tech as the anchor, which I'm somewhat good at, and catching the pulse of those that are going through something. Not so much narcissistic abuse. I actually have uncovered one case of such, but not so much narcissistic abuse, but just trauma in general. Trauma affects empaths so hard because we try to make sense of what the hell just happened. That's always the thing. That's the first question, like, what the hell just happened? Everything was just going fine, and what just happened? And I think that keeps us from being the best version of ourselves. Yes, the core of the Now movement is to dismantle the mask of narcissistic abusers and help survivors find balance. So yeah, the Healing Library and Now TV exists because if you have that question and you're like me, you're trying to research, there's a lot of stuff in one place, Church of Real Talk. You just go there and you can find just about anything to answer just about any question that you may have about what it is that you're going to. Again, the goal is clarity. So when we did that, we kind of proved something, not only to the masses, but to ourselves. That it's not just about survival. It's about clarity. And there came a point building the Now movement, I want to say about a month and a half ago, where I just didn't feel like I was surviving anymore. I felt like I was thriving. And I think it shows a lot the quality of information that I'm putting out there now. Because I'm doing what I set out to do now. I'm just giving clarity. Even my posting strategy has changed, on social media, where I'm just trying to give clarity. I think that if you give a person clarity, they can kind of figure out the rest on their own. But clarity has a strange way of doing it. You can kind of figure out your next move once you have a clear outlook on everything. The narcissist uses a lot of clarity blocking things in their arsenal. They want to block all clarity. They want to keep you on, as I like to say, keep you on tilt, so that you don't figure it out, so that you don't see beyond their mask. And believe it or not, when I saw the demon that I was actually living with, the demon that I said that I loved, that I felt that I loved, when I finally saw what lied behind that mask, there was disgust, there was fear, and strangely enough, there was anger at myself for not seeing it sooner. So yeah, that's one of those things in 2025 that I had to deal with, that I had to overcome, so that I could be further of assistance. Because if I couldn't find my own footing, how could I ask someone else to find their footing? And again, transparency is always cool. I still go through a lot of things, but they're under control. They're manageable. And once again, I hate to keep on saying it, but I always seem to, in a strange way, transform that pain into purpose. And then that purpose causes me to thrive. And then by default, I win. Not so much against the narcissist, but I win against dysfunction. Dysfunction now, I'm not going to say can't touch me, but at the same time, it doesn't get up under my skin as much as it did. And when you're in survival mode, you become hyper vigilant, and that's a scary thing, because it came to a point before I got real balance where if you just, the DSM-5 says that to be diagnosed as a narcissist, you have to show 5 of the traits, 5 of the 9. If I come around people that would show me 2, I'm like, you gotta get away from me. No, you got to go. I can't have you I can't have that negativity up around me. And I had to ease that back, because I was pushing away people that I could have been of assistance to, or more importantly, could have been of assistance to me. So now I just wait for the full 5. If you show me the full 5, then I push you away. But, if it's 1 or 2, you just might have, social issues or whatever. It doesn't mean that you're a narcissist. But enough about that. Let's move on to, I guess we should just move on to where we're going with it now. I think it's a good time to start that right about now. So what's changing here at the Now movement? What's making it different going into 2026? Well, kind of plain and simple, it's something that I started, I guess around November, was helping people break free from the trauma bond. I think that is like a number one goal for 2026, is helping people get enough clarity that they can break free from the trauma bond. The trauma bond is a shit show within itself. It is really a lot to deal with. I've said this often. Many mental health professionals say that you're trying to beat an addiction from an illicit substance. That'll probably be easier than breaking the trauma bond. The trauma bond I've always looked at as being the back door for whenever the narcissist wants to come and inflict more pain on your existence, where you just accept them in. And I think I know from my experience, breaking free from the trauma bond, and everybody goes through it. Okay, I had to go through it. I had to deal with it. I had to decide that, listen, I don't want to play this game anymore. And there are so many different ways. There's so many mental health professionals that have their way of making it happen. The basic ones being gray rock, no contact, just forgetting them, blocking them on all social media. Those are just some of the ways, but I wanted to give it in plain, simple language. That's what I want to do with helping people break the trauma bond. Simple exercises that they can do daily. One of my books, Echo's path is actually excellent. It's actually excellent. You should never use AI to replace a mental health professional, but you can use AI to give you exercises. You can use AI to help you rebuild your confidence. You can use AI to thrive. Believe it or not, you really can. And I outlined some of the prompts that actually work for me. Breaking the trauma bond is so hard, and sometimes this actually resets the clock. If I feel that if a survivor, if an empath, if a chosen one can't break free from the trauma bond, it's like just resetting the clock on pain. So that's very important. Another thing that I'm definitely working on is helping people release guilt. I think I mentioned that earlier. A lot of people, they don't want to tell their truth. They don't want to discuss it. They definitely don't want to go see a therapist, because that would be admitting that they are guilty of A, not seeing through it, or B, trying harder to love them. So that brings a lot of shame and guilt to people. So I understand that. So the goal is to help people get past that, to oversee that. One of the things that I'm constantly telling people, especially when I would source people to come on to Survivor Stories Saturday, is, this is how you defeat the narcissist, is by telling your truth. Because while they're out there spreading all these lies and half-truths about you, when you start telling your truth, you have to remember, and I think a lot of empaths forget this, you have to remember your truth is powerful, just for the reason that people connect with you, just for the reason why, people look at you as a really cool person and stuff like that, is because when you speak your truth, people listen. Not so much the flying monkeys. Get out of it. See, first off, I'm going to tell you something. When you look at the relationship or the situationship or the manipulatorship that you have with the narcissist, and this is not an ego thing, I'm going to tell you something. You were always better than them. And I mean that in the most honest of terms. You were always better than them. And this is why they gravitated towards you. That's why they felt the need to destroy you. And that's why near the end, you had that sense of they hated you. Because for some strange reason in the narcissist's mind, they think just by proximity, they can absorb all of those things that you have in you. And that's what causes them to hate you, because they find out that it doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. You are the person that you are because you are an empath. This is why kids want to play with you and want to be around you. This is why animals love the hell out of you. This is why people, for some strange reason, they'll just walk up to you and unburden their problems and don't know you from a can of paint, because they can sense the empath in you. The narcissist, the predator that they are, can sense the empath in you as well. But their initial goal when they first come in is they create a construct of you in their mind, and they feel all the things because they feel that they're superior above everyone else. They feel that all of those qualities that are within you, they can just absorb. They can just take that part from you. So yeah, we want people to understand that. Okay, and if they're smearing your name, they're smearing your name to 9 times out of 10, the people that they surrounded themselves with before you came into the picture. Now, when you look at the capabilities and the inherent beautiful things that the narcissist has, do you really care what these people that are buying into this hook, line, and sinker really think about you? So you have to not let the smear campaign get you. And this is the reason why, and I have to bring this up, this is the reason why we have the Zoom and Google Meet clarity sessions. This is why we have the text support, where you can ask a question and get an answer within a timely manner to what you're going through. This is the reason why we have these things, because people don't understand it. If you understood it, people wouldn't be in narcissistic relationships. People wouldn't be devaluing themselves based on what the narcissist is saying. Again, it's kind of hard to. This should be your first sign, and this is a freebie as hell. Okay, this should be your first sign. Anybody that you're in a relationship with, that you consider your mate, you shouldn't be in a competition as if you're on two opposing football teams. This is what life with the narcissist feels like, because those things that you have inside of you, those things that make you great, those things that make you unique and authentic, they want those things. They want those things. And when they find out they can't take them from you, that's when the hate, the envy, and the jealousy start to show. Again, I spent, I think, the last year asking my narcissistic ex, like, why do you hate me so much? All I do is try to help you. Why do you have this? I can feel it. It's oozing off of you. Why you hate me? Again, due to the research, I figured it out. You're talking about a person that has a false identity, that has been using puzzle pieces throughout their life, trying to take from this person, take from that person, take from that person, and build it into this construct of an identity. It doesn't work that way. That's why they call it a mask, because they have no true identity. But when we're speaking about identity, that's another thing that we're trying to do here at the Now Movements, to help empaths rebuild their identity. That is one of the first things that the narcissist do to what I just said. That's one of the first things that the narcissist tries to strip from you, is your identity. Because you have to remember, they're trying to be you. They want you to be them. This is how the mask survives. So I think it's very important that people reclaim their identity. When I first started this, there was a phrase that I used to always use. Try to at least get back to the day before you met the narcissist. That was your identity. That's who you were. Okay? It didn't go anyplace. You just had an outside entity that was chipping away at it and making you doubt your own self-worth. Another thing is, and this is very, very important, is healing without being bitter. Really, I get it. Healing through peaceful choices was one of the lives that I did at the end of last year. I'm actually just doing long forms with that. The reason why that's so important is because I've experienced it. You're angry as hell. You're angry as hell that you've given your all to try to fix something that their whole intent was to try to break. And one of the things that healing demands from you is that you stop being bitter and that you stop wanting revenge. See, we base bitterness and revenge on that the person knew better and should have done better. A narcissist doesn't know better. And the narcissist will never do better. Again, they know exactly what they're doing. When you entered into that narcissistic relationship, it's like the stamp on a carton of milk. There was an expiration date there. The longer you took the abuse, the longer you pushed back that expiration date. Believe it or not. But when you stopped taking the abuse, when you stopped letting them play in your face, when you stopped letting them take advantage of you, it sped back up. You've got to go. You are challenging my false image, thereby you must go. So yeah, they never were going to change. There was nothing that you could have done to change them, and I need people to understand this. There's nothing that you can do. I always find it amazing that once you see past the mask, sometimes people will comment, yeah, I went back and it was just it became worse. Because that's why you shouldn't be bitter. This person, this narcissist is stuck in this life cycle till the day that they die. Again, and I say this often in my videos, they have these people that they consider themselves self-aware narcissists. It allows them the capability to, if they choose, to do better. If they choose. But I always try to explain to people that self-aware just means that you know what you are. At the end of the day, the word narcissist is still at the end of that title. So yeah, they can be helpful. I salute a lot of them for sharing the tomfoolery that narcissists have been submitting empaths, through the ages with all of this pain. I salute them. But at the same time, most of them will tell you the same thing that I and many other creators will tell you is your only option is to break free and run. Don't worry about what you're leaving behind. You can rebuild all that. Remember, you're built from different stock. If you built it, then you can rebuild it again without that extra weight, without that demon sitting on your shoulder telling you that you can't. Another thing that we're doing is we're going, and there's a reason for this, and I'll get to this in the end. Another thing that we're doing is we are going full video mode, okay? We have the journal posts, those will be done, but for most of social media, it's going to be YouTube. So if you feel like subscribing, subscribe. If not, if you just stop by and take what you need, I'm cool with that, okay? But yeah, it's going to be a video primary thing, okay? Everything is going to center around video. It's going to center around interviews. I'm thinking of new shows for Now TV. So video is going to be the bulk of what we do for the most part now and going into 2026. I think I'm going to get on and do a live maybe once a month, to field questions and answers. But again, we have the tech support, and again, we have the Zoom and the Google Meet support, so we can still reach people where they need to be needed, and regrettably, I get the same 24 hours in a day as you do. I'm trying to bargain for more, but I don't think it's going to happen. The reason why I say that is because this mission was never meant to become like a cash cow or go viral or any of that stuff. Its main purpose is like any other institution that is based on healing is to actually heal people. It really is. When I do events and stuff like that, I do that. I don't even have a tip jar. I just do that out of the kindness of my heart, out of the need to ensure that no empath gets stuck in that. What else? I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be mostly video. As far as mornings with Amaris, oh my God, we've been doing that for almost 2 years. I've got to think about that because that's part of my routine. That's always been my routine, to give that quick bite-sized nugget of inspiration to people in the world. So I'm going to think about that. Mornings with Amaris, we might have to bring back into 2026. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of changes because, again, we go back to what now means, no other way but forward. We live in a world where video is king as far as passing information. Hell, I learned stuff through video. I really do. I mean, I put up my YouTube thing of, YouTube says that I'm into self-improvement. It says that I'm trying to find the key to give to someone else. And that's what I do. I really want to make sure that no empaths suffer. So yeah, I'm rambling on. Let me go ahead and close out in just a few seconds. I gotta go get some more coffee, but let me just go ahead and close out with what we are going to be doing in 2026, besides giving people or allowing people to reclaim their voice. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get more coffee, okay? And I'll be right back. Thank you. I needed that. I really did. We talked a lot about 2025. And we made a lot of movement in 2025. But we're coming super close to 2026. And it's important that we manifest into the future what we will be doing with the N.O.W. movement, No Other Way But Forward. One of the things in 2025 that really crushed me was we couldn't get a physical location. But the universe, in its strange way of doing things, has actually given me what it was that I felt I needed. I needed to get myself in front of more people, to have conversations. Everything begins with a conversation. And it's not so much directed solely at narcissistic abuse, but anybody that survived will understand this. Trauma is trauma. And whenever you are confronted with trauma, it takes a lot to get through it. So we need to get into more spaces where we can have more conversations. Lucky for me, I'm on the board of Love and Truth, and they've got a lot of muscle to get me into these spaces. And they've actually implemented a whole calendar for me to do in-person stuff in Barrington. That's the beginning. That's a great beginning. I mean, I'm talking about really cool stuff like movie night with a discussion, men's groups where they can sit down and talk and sometimes just vent, just get things off of their chest, just find a little bit of clarity, whether it be on there. And these are not clinical things. These are not clinical things. Again, everything begins with a conversation. What else are we doing? We're doing emotional wellness gatherings. That's a beautiful thing. Emotional wellness. See, my way of thinking, and it may be a little warped and it may be a little crazy, is if I can start the conversation, maybe, just maybe, someone is ready, willing, and able to share their truth. And the whole thing and this is why I love what Love and Truth is doing. The whole thing is, I want these to be safe spaces. This is not something that I'm going to be recording while I'm doing it and putting on so it could be a pain show. No, this is about reaching people where they're at and where they need to be met at. So that is the goal. Now, we're starting in Barrington. I've got Camden proper where I'm actually doing stuff, but I want to branch out with this. I want to branch out with this. My hometown is New York. I want to get back to my roots and help people there. I want to go to other states and help people. But more importantly, can't be every place at once. I need people that understand what the movement is about, that wants to see the movement grow. I know there's an empath right now that's watching this saying, you know what, that's a great freaking idea. I've always wanted to do something like that. Yeah, you can. You can. If you actually have a movement that you're starting, or you want to spread your truth, you can keep your assets. Just be a part of this movement. You know, I'm not trying to say that people have to come under my umbrella. No, stay under your umbrella, but be part of this movement, because the work that I've done since July, again, it started out as survival, but looking at it now, it's about clarity. It's about reaching people where they need to be reached at. And yes, we can all go out there and do that on our own. We really can. But I'm going to tell you something. I couldn't have healed on my own. I needed information. I needed to go find information from other people to understand this, to figure out what the hell was going on. The goal in 2026 is to free everybody from the chains. Again, the narcissist, the demon, the thing that needs to be excised out of your life, they follow the same exact freaking patterns every time. And if the Now movement can help you identify those patterns and see those patterns clearly, you would do what? Free yourself. You would no longer be chained to this demon that is systematically destroying your life, that has you walking on emotional roller coasters, that has you walking on eggshells. We need to make this not only about integrity, but depth. Because even though I may smile and some of my videos may be kind of funny and stuff like that, I don't take this lightly. I don't. And it's not a selfish I don't take this lightly. I don't take this lightly because my driving force, the purpose that pushes me out of bed, that makes me turn on the coffee maker, that makes me put on grim face motivation every freaking day is, there's somebody out there that needs to be freed. There's somebody out there that needs to be helped. And yes, maybe, well, more than likely, we're not a one size fits all. But that's why we have levels in what we do. Stop by the Healing Library, listen to a free audiobook, nothing out your pocket, right? And if it gives you a little bit of clarity, win-win. You know, if you need something just a little bit more, maybe you find yourself that you feel isolated and you just need a little glimpse, just somebody sometimes just to listen to what you have to say. Maybe get tech support. And you know, time is time. I'm not gonna lie. I just outlined everything that I do through the day. You know, time is time. But for the cost of a cup of coffee, hey, if you can get clarity, why not? Now, I'm always going to tell people, you know, before you even go for the whole tech session or the Zoom, Google Meet sessions, if you feel deep down inside that you need something that has a professional flavor to it, I'm going to tell you, listen to your gut. There's no shame in seeking help from a professional. There is no shame in that. I tell people all the time, yo, you really feeling like that? Yo, why don't you just call 988? Just talk to somebody. You don't have to commit yourself or nothing. Just talk to somebody. I say this constantly because it's important. People, unless they have experienced this, they don't know how this destroys a person. More importantly, how this destroys an empath. See, if there's no empaths around, there's nobody to care. There's nobody to give a bleep. So empaths are needed. They're very important to the ecosystem of this world. And as long as narcissists are using empaths as prey, they're kind of destroying the world. So we've got to get rid of them. So that's the goal in 2026. No more chains. No more dealing with the trauma bond and exposing these fake ass mask wearing narcissists. Gotta be a good thing, don't you think? I'm going to put all the links. Again, this is not a hard step. Just visit thechurchofrealtalk.com. Okay, I'm going to put it right down there someplace. Just visit thechurchofrealtalk.com. And just see if something works for you, it doesn't work for you. Hell, you can read the journal posts. You can spend a whole day reading journal posts. And I can almost guarantee that one journal post is going to give you a sense of clarity, a sense of stability. You know, if that doesn't work, I don't know how, but go to the Healing Library. I'm talking about completely free. No funnel, no please, you know, give me your email address so I can send you emails all the time. None of that. You know, if you're in an area, if you're in the area that I am, Camden County, come by. We have open house sessions. Come sit down, speak with people that might be going through the same thing, that might be able to understand what it is that you're going through. One of the things that survivors have such a hard time, nobody freaking understands unless they've been through it. So yeah. We have tech support, we have Google Meet support where we can sit camera face to face and just talk it out and figure it out. You know, again, I'm still trying to cross all the T's and dot the I's, but now it's focused. We're taking this like a freight train into 2026 with a whole bunch of narcissists in the path. We're getting rid of them. They've gone too long undiscovered, where they're just being chalked up as toxic relationships. No, this is beyond toxic. This is predatory. And we're going to put an end to it in 2026. Mark my words. Mark my freaking words. With that being said, I want to thank you for joining me right here. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you want to. Hit that notification bell because 2026 is going to be a video kind of year. If you have suggestions about things that you'd like for me to speak upon, please put them in the comments. I read all comments. I really do. You know, put them in the comments and hopefully we can address what it is that you would like to see us address right here at the Now Movement. I want you to keep on healing. I want you to stay powerful. And I got to add something here. I want you to have peace in 2026. And the reason why I do everything that I do, you already know. Love you guys.